You ever just want a crab? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Fasa the Silver Chimera, and I'm back with a Stasis Hunter build in Destiny 2. The weapon we're using is the heavy exotic glaive Winterbite. The intrinsic trait is Big Frigid Glaive. Is that a Doom reference? The trait says, fire a large ball of energy that locks onto nearby targets and freezes them. So you shoot a big disco ball out that floats around, freezing bitches. You know, it's pretty cool. The second trait is Weighted Edge. This weapon's melee attacks deal increased damage and slows targets when loaded with ammo. I've always liked this glaive, and it does hit pretty hard. But it'd be a lot more fun if we made it hit even harder with the exotic arms, Tritons Vice. These come with the perk Halberdier's Reach. Increased glaive reload speed and melee damage when surrounded. Glaive melee final blows overflow around to the magazine. Glaive projectile final blows detonate if the glaive deals damage matching your subclass type. So they recently got a buff, so I think now these arms give a 100% damage buff. So that plus all the other things I just mentioned will go really well with Winterbite, giving it that extra juice, you know what I mean? Hopping over to the subclass, we're using Stasis, and for the dodge, I recommend Marksman's Dodge so you can reload your glaive in a pinch if you need to. For our grenade, I suggest the Glacier Grenade. This will synergize with multiple parts of the build, so stay tuned for that. For our aspects, we're rocking Shatter Dive, activate while midair to quickly descend, shatter nearby targets on impact. This aspect is fun as hell and comes in handy from time to time, especially since we're using the Glacier Grenade. The next aspect is Grim Harvest. Defeating slowed or frozen combatants creates stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you or your allies. The shards are nice for the melee energy, and we're going to be using them for a bit more survivability due to our fragments and things like that coming up. Speaking of fragments, first up, Whisper of Chains. While you are near frozen targets or friendly stasis crystals, you take reduced damage. Plus, you get 10 to your recovery stat. This fragment helps with survivability. You know, we're using a glaive, so we got to get up close. So it just helps. And, you know, using the glacier grenades and what we're going to be using with our mods and stuff coming up, this helps. Next up is Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit. We're going to be making and breaking a lot of crystals. So this keeps the wheel turning, so to speak. And the more grenades, the better. The next fragment is Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position, plus you get 10 to your resilience and intellect stack. The shards coming to us is always nice, because sometimes you can't go get them, might be a little bit dangerous. So if it comes to you, that's it's good. Next is Whisper of Fissures. Increase the damage and size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. Who doesn't love more damage, right? Finally, we have Whisper of Rhyme. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. So this adds that survivability. The overshield is nice. It doesn't make you unkillable by any means, but, it's nice to have. And the build allows us to make shards fairly consistently. We're utilizing the freezing, shattering, and the crystals to maintain the aggression and stay alive. And thanks to the artifact mods, we can push things to 11. The most important mods are Pillar of Ice, defeating an encased combatant spawns stasis crystals. More crystals lets us take advantage of our damage resistance and gives us more things to shatter. The next mod is Hail the Storm. Shattering encased targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. Shattering stasis crystals release shards of ice that damage and slow targets. So this mod lets us do more damage and generate even more shards because it will slow more enemies with our Shatter Dive or our glaive. Other useful mods would be Dragon's Breath. Whenever you break a shield with stasis weapons, you could possibly freeze them. That's pretty helpful. If you're using solar weapons or strand weapons, you can use the corresponding mods to enhance those a little bit. Jumping over to our regular armor mods, on the head, we want Heavy Ammo Finder because Winterbite chews through ammo like you wouldn't believe. Siphon mods are nice, and I like Hands-On for more super energy. On the arms, I like to use Grenade Kickstart for more grenade energy, Firepower to make orbs, but I'm not entirely sure that works with Glacier Grenades, so if you know that, please let me know in the comment section below. It would just be nice to know. On the chest, we want a pair of reserve mods because we want as much ammo as possible for our glaive. On the legs, we're using Absolution for our ability energy, Innervation for our grenade energy, and Recuperation for more health when you pick up an orb. Finally, on our class item, we want Reaper for more orbs, Bomber for grenade energy, and Powerful Attraction to pick up orbs when we dodge. Overall, I really have a lot of fun with this build. I really like glaives. I think they're super fun weapons. And it's just fun to hit bad guys with the old stabby, stabby, jabby, jabby. And when you kill a frozen target, it'll make crystals, and then the crystals slow things, which makes shards, and that gives you melee. It's a fun loop. And you know what's not to love about just a super big glaive that freezes things and shatters them. And it's also really fun because the glaive slows and freezes. So you actually can deal with overload champions and unstoppables. And that's not to mention that the arms make it do some serious big dig damage. And you can also block with the glaive, so that helps with survivability. Like I said, it's fun. But we have to move on to the most important aspect of the build. The fashion. Here's the outfit. I had a bit of fun with this one, I'm not going to lie. Because Triton has this whole like techno crab claw thing going on, and there's a Winterbite ornament that makes it look like a Triton. So I thought of like frozen techno Atlantis theme. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. We got some of the glowing wires, stuff on the leg, kind of like a breathing apparatus on the helmet, that big old crab claw. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Before I get out of here, I gotta name the build, and I think it should be known as Winter's Vice, because you crush your enemies with the might of the unforgiving frozen seas of the Arctic. What can I say? I like super dramatic dialogue. On that note, I'm gonna get going. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider to leave a like. If you're so inclined, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. If you want to be notified on future videos, ring my bell. As always, if you want to talk to me, I'll be in the comment section below. What do you think of the build? What did you think of the outfit or the name? If you don't know what to comment, how about crab? I mean, all things eventually end up there anyway, right? Well, I'm Fasa the Silver Chimera. Thank you for lending me your time today, and I hope you're having a good day. I will see all of you beautiful monsters next time.